Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we're doing a PVE slash GQ slash limit breaker tier list. I have to specify that because I thought GQ counted as PVE, but apparently not in my last tier list that I did. So I'm going to just mention that now. We're ranking it all besides Brave Battles and Arena, pretty much. It is what it is. I don't count Arena because literally nobody plays it, so who cares. But yeah, gonna do all the tier lists. Might try to reorder some. And I'm just going to specify this right now. Ranking characters in Guild Quest almost seem impossible at this point because Caleb is skewing the HP so much. It's insane what they're doing. Nini had one of the hardest Guild Quests to date, and she looked very mediocre. I think the best score she got was like 51, 52 seconds, at least from what I saw. And they're even making it harder next week, by the way. Apparently we're getting another melee Arankar already because the GQ reset, the schedule resets, and they're making it even harder. Some of the worst decisions I've ever seen for a gacha game is all I can say. But we'll be ranking it. It's gonna be awkward, I'm not gonna lie, but I'll try my best. Let me know. I'm also gonna be moving some characters around, like this Ulquiorra. I'm sorry, I don't really like him. I've seen him perform, and I'm not digging his stuff right now. So I feel like he's around here. Like the True Shikai as well. I think Toshiro put in some work today. Unironically, I was using a 1 out of 5 Toshiro. He almost cleared the entire GQ. I was using Apache as a side. That's fine though, okay? 2 out of 5 Apache. Like, I had a 5-5 True Shikai with 5-5 sides, and they weren't clearing. So you know, it is what it is. Obviously though, it's only one place difference. You think if you prefer True Shikai, they just keep bouncing around because they're very interchangeable. But so as far as like these characters, they are staying the same. The rest of Heart, you could probably bump down Kensei, I guess, but with these new buffed GQs, I think he's doing fine. If you want to bump him down to A, that's fine. But besides that, I don't really see anything there. Didn't see anybody talking about Killgate too much, so I think I'm gonna leave it there. If you have a big argument for Killgate being higher up, go for it. Maybe because he's a limit breaker character, sure, but I think that's close enough. Either way, I think these are the top two. Now we have Uryu, which unfortunately is a Brave Battle character, so he's not going to be placed that high. We do have a Brave Battle list, but he's at least somewhat usable in Brave Battle, or outside of Brave Battles, if I'm not mistaken. He has a bunch of Brave Battle skills. Also, let me know if you like the face cam, by the way. I forgot to mention it. Let me know if you like the face cam. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, he is mainly just going to be used in the range Stormraider and Soul Reaper guild quest, if you even need to bring him, which you probably don't since he is a Brave Battle character. But if he's your best option, sure. He has Bruiser of 40%, and Flurry 3, and he has Poise. That's pretty much all he has. And then he has Sharpshooter, so he does at least have Guard Break. He also has Long Reach, so he has more range. Really nice for that. So, I mean, I think I put Mila Rose in the middle up here, so I mean, I would probably just put him up by some of the other NAD units in the game. You could probably even put him below like the actual like decent boosters, but like he's somewhere around here. I think there's better boosters than these characters. These characters are kind of outdated, and their damage is pretty lackluster. At least he has decent damage. And does he have 200% immunity? I don't think so, actually. He does not, so that's unfortunate, I guess. So you'd probably have to make him immune. So that's one downside, I would say, but he's middle of the road. He's okay. He's okay. I don't think he's anything insane. Like, you know, like the GQ NAD characters who have GQ skills, they're really, really good in GQ, obviously. And you're not going to use him in Limit Breaker because he sucks. He has only Brave Battle skills, so it is what it is. I think he's decent. He's fine. Middle of the road. And then we have the Shuhei Resurrection. I'm just going to mention some of the resurrections that we got recently that are somewhat interesting. He got more strong attack damage. His Berserker went up as well. His damage to weakened enemies, I believe, also went up. And then he went from Frenzy 1 to Frenzy 2, if I'm not mistaken. And then they gave him Lasted Survival. I think he was in low B. And honestly, with his Resurrection, you know, you could probably say he's like up here. Up in here, lowish A, somewhere in here. Like A isn't super ranked that well, I'm not gonna lie, especially like the lower half. But you know, he's somewhere around here. But he was like way down here before, like he was terrible. But now I think he's up here. Let's go on to Technique now. Technique. We have Renji, Macy, and the new Resurrection, which I know we haven't actually been able to play, but we're just going to be going off of what he ended up getting on paper. Alright, so we're going to be going on to Renji, and unfortunately I don't have a really nice spreadsheet for the final character, whatever his name is, Sojiro. So unfortunately I don't have a nice spreadsheet like how I'm going to have Renji's and Macy's. It's just going to be like a little like straight up and down image. That's all I really have at the moment for his resurrection, but it's whatever. But Renji is an absolutely amazing character, and I'm sorry for you Gremmy fans, but I think Renji is #1 technique. I do not care about Gremmy's tracking vortex. I don't care that he can auto content. I'm going for the best character. Renji is an absolute monster in Limit Breaker. He's an absolute monster in Guild Quest. He's an absolute monster in Epic Raids. It is what it is. I will say, Renji is a bit more selfish in that aspect, but he's an absolute monster in terms of literally any sort of content, and I think it will take more time for him to be phased out, unlike Gremmy, which, you know, he's not phased out yet, but he does have decent competition against the Toshiro, whereas Renji has pretty much no competition in the range Quincy aspect. So yeah, that's just my take as to why I think he's better, but let's go over what he has. So he's a ranged Quincy Killer Plus. He has recharge of 14%. He has Lacerate and Burn on his SA1. Lacerate Plus on his SA2, which is a superior SA2, so it does 20% more magnification, or 20% more damage. He has Lacerate and Burn on his SA3, which is a charge SA3, but it's kind of like Kenpachi's SA2, like almost a full screen. It's not the actual like Getsugo Jujisho one that True Shikai has. And then he has Lacerate and Burn on his Soul Bomb, and then Lacerate Plus on his Nad String, and his EX, which is the 100% SP boost, where if you have your SP boost and you proc, or if you use the EX skill, then you get up to a 360% SP boost, making you delete practically anything in the game with one SA3. His skills, he has the Soul Reaper Resonance of strong attack damage of 10%, he has Berserker of 60%, Bombardment of 1, damage to lacerated enemies at 80%, Debilitator for 2 seconds, Frenzy plus 3, increased status summon chance against Quincy's of 10%, he has Poise, he has Poise Break, he has SP boost of 80%, he has Weaken Defense, and then Weaken Duration minus 200%, and then he has Havoc, Sharpshooter, and Sprinter. Generally, the only thing I wish he had was the complete status immunity of 200%, or the share, or the all immunity, whatever they call it now. Because I can give him long stride. I don't care about giving a character long stride if they're that good. Like, for perfect example, this Renji and Kenny, I don't mind giving them long stride. They're that broken. I don't mind it at all. If they're that broken, I don't mind taking out a little bit of damage for like damage to lacerate or weakening or whatever they proc, just to give them long stride. Kind of annoying, sure, but oh well, I don't really care. Very broken character. I also enjoy using the character the most. He's probably my favorite character to use in Epic Raids right now, as that's where I farmed with him the most recently, and he is so much fun. I love this character. Probably one of my favorite releases of the year, right next to the 6th anniversary remake Aizen, and then Swimsuit Yoruichi, because a little bit of bias right there with that one. But yeah. Going on to the next character with Mace. Also, I forgot I was going to move some characters. I feel like Giselle's not SS. Like nowadays. I feel like Giselle is still great. Still great. I just am not feeling the SS anymore. Like compared to these two, like Gremmy still easily cleared his insanely buff GQ. Giselle is struggling. That's basically how I see it. And these two are still absolute monsters in their Limit Breaker. So that's why I'm going to bump it down to the top of S. Still amazing character. I just don't think that Giselle is SS. And then I'm going to be bumping down Driscoll down here. And then, yeah, I just don't think his strong attack hit holds up. I think he's pretty mid. It is what it is. If you guys think he's S, that's fine. I just don't think he is up there anymore. Alright, but let's go over Macy now. Miss Macy. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to lie, she was a bit of a letdown. But she is still going to be a good side booster for pretty much any GQ, especially if you are a... Oh, I guess she doesn't even boost just no affiliation. That's Noelle, my bad. She just boosts anyone. She is a Melee, no affiliation killer with Killer Plus. She has full stamina only, increased normal attack damage of 40% as her soul trait. And then she has that new EX skill. I forgot that these new characters aren't going to have their EX skill on their thing, so let me just go to the new Burn the Witch characters. Really annoying that they don't do that, but it is what it is. What is her EX skill other thing? I think it's just normal attack damage. Yeah, so her EX skill at 5 out of 5 is an extra 30% bruiser, and it starts at 18% at 1 out of 5. Just thought I would mention that, so that way you know what this skill is. So the link is going to be very, very good, especially for GQ. That's going to be like a meta GQ link most likely. And then she has an SA1 small mini boost, which I think is like 23% attack, focus, and defense. And then her SA2 has last rate and drain. Her SA3 is a 53% attack, focus, and defense boost. And then she has last rate and drain on everything else, but no status elements on her SA1 and 2 because they're boosts. For her skills, she has the Team Party strong attack damage of 20%, which is the exact same buff as Mugetsu. So you don't even have to bring a Mugetsu link on this character. Not that big of a deal, especially if it's like off killer, but for her guild quest, it's pretty good. Booster of 30%, bruiser of 70%, enhancer of 10 seconds, fire duration minus 200%, flurry plus 1. She has gauge rampage, so she's a gauge character. She gets an extra 100% bruiser and flurry plus 1 once she procs her gauge. She has increased status summon chance against no affiliation enemies at 10%, long reach plus 20%, poise, start gauge of 70% outside of brave battles, and then recharge of 12%. Now, I'm not sure exactly how well she's going to do in her GQ because she is similar to the Nad Momo, where she's just not bringing that much damage in guild quest because that's the main place where she's going to be used. You're not going to bring her into Limit Breaker quest. The only Nad we've ever been able to use in Limit Breaker realistically was the Tech Aizen, if I'm not mistaken. That was actually somewhat viable. This unit I just don't think is going to cut it, mainly because it's a gauge character. You have to get a lot of kills, build up that gauge really, really fast, and since the time gated game mode, I'm not really leaning on that. In guild quest, I'm not too sure how her damage is going to be because she doesn't really have insane damage until she procs her gauge with the extra 100% bruiser and the extra flurry plus 1, because she only has 70% bruiser and flurry 1. And then like her link stuff, which that's still good, but I don't think it's enough to like push her over the top with all the extra different multipliers. But because she has the Mugetsu buff and she has a double boost, I'm gonna say she's right around Tenjiro. If you think Tenjiro is better, go for it. But it's basically just which one do you need more at the moment. If you're using a Soul Reaper unit, you would probably use Tenjiro. If you're not using a Soul Reaper unit, you would probably use someone like Masaki or the Rangiku, or Neliel, or Macy, something along those lines. As for the next character, it's going to be Sojiro, and Sojiro is a resurrected character, should be resurrecting soon. He ended up picking up, in total, he has a soul trait of 12%, full stamina only, increased strong attack damage of 22%, and enhanced soul traits. He's also a Soul Reaper killer, by the way. Innate skills of Sprinter plus 1, guard break, weaken duration minus 100%, damage to frozen enemies from 20 to 30%. His bruiser stayed the same at 20. Strong attack damage went from 20 to 70%. Soul bomb damage is to 40%, or I think it stayed the same. Havoc at 20. Frenzy plus Frenzy 1 to Frenzy 2. Increased status summon chance against speed attribute Soul Reapers. Unfortunately, not just speed attribute or just Soul Reapers, unfortunately, but oh well. And then he has Debilitator of 5, and then the Team Party Technique attribute Soul Reaper damage to status and infected enemies of 30%. So, yeah, I think he's going to be pretty good. Where is he going to go? I'm Frenzy 2, 70% Berserker. I mean, I think he's up by these guys. I don't know if he's like better than Art Book or anything. I don't know exactly his strong attack yet, but I think he's like somewhere in middle of A. I think that's where a lot of these resurrections are going to be going. Middle road of A tier, somewhere around here. Like, he has Frenzy 2, increased chance against a certain affiliation and attribute. That's fine. And then Berserker 70%. Damage to frozen enemies. Like, that's pretty good. If he procs, he's going to do a lot of damage. Pretty much how all these characters are doing. So, yeah, gonna put him around there. Alright, so we are back. We are at the speed attribute, and I think we're going to be moving some characters around because of the most recent stuff. Retsu definitely got power crept. She, because she's not one-shotting, her times drastically fell off. Because she's not having that overly insane damage now. Because of the massively buffed GQ. Now, obviously, you know, maybe they won't keep that. Maybe it'll change. But for right now, I think she's a bit worse than probably Toshiro. Because she also doesn't perform that well in Limit Breaker. Like, she's incredibly slow in Limit Breaker. She hasn't been doing that well in general in there in forever. Because they just massively gapped the HP in that thing. It's crazy. It is what it is. And then Bambi. Bambi, my goodness gracious, you're down here. We got your replacement. I don't think you're worthy of S tier anymore. Jushiro is much better. I don't care. Now, as for these three characters, I think it's very iffy. You could say either of them are in first or second or third place as for these. But I will say, I think overall, I think Yoruichi is still the best S tier character. I superly want to put her in SS. I genuinely enjoyed her gameplay, but I know as soon as I do, people will complain because she only has Drain. It is what it is. I will not put her to SS. I think she's an amazing character. The EX skill is very good. The 50% SP boost. I know she has GQ skills, but she still feels very good in Limit Breaker. Oh well, I won't do it. It could just be some bias because it's like literally my favorite character, you know. So I won't do it. But I am not putting Uetsu above Kenpachi after seeing his performance in Guild Quest and Limit Breaker. No, thank you. I am not going to do that. It felt genuinely awful. Now, obviously, it is because of the buffed HP. Yet again, Caleb is making it very annoying trying to rank characters with the new GQ. But Limit Breaker, like, oh my goodness. Oh, it was not fun. Obviously, the status plus was the main reason, but still not very fun. So I'm not going to put him above Kenny there. Now for Rukia. This one is a really iffy one because a lot of people genuinely enjoy this character. I do not. I like, she's good. She is good. But who do I prefer more? Who do I think is better? I still think Kenpachi is better. Rukia has a boss killer very similar to Kenpachi. The only thing I would say is I guess Rukia does have the all status element duration, minus 200%. And then she has a long stride. And I think that's genuinely the only thing she has on Kenpachi, but Kenpachi has more damage. The EX skill absolutely blitzes the poised enemies away. In Guild Quest, he still has, I think, the highest score besides maybe Renji. Maybe Renji out DPS'd him or out cleared him, but I think Kenny still slightly clears. If you think she's one, go for it. I think she's number 2. She's still a great character. I just prefer Kenpachi. Have to split. I should actually probably say what she had. I almost completely forgot to go over her actual skills. She is a melee Stormtrooper Killer Plus. She has strong attack recharge time on his 14%. And then she has the 40% SP boost as her EX trait. Hopefully I didn't forget any EX traits. I'm very bad at that because it doesn't say it on the sheet that I have. So remember that at 5 out of 5 is 40%, and it's only additive, so it just adds 40%. It's not like how the Kenpachi or Yoruichi or Renji EX skill does, where it's like multiplicative, so it gets a very big increase. It's just a flat 40% at 5 out of 5 because they kind of cucked her link for no reason. And then for her strong attacks, she has an SA. All of her attacks have freeze plus, and then her SA2 is a superior SA2, so it does more damage, and it does have a bit of a slower cooldown. That's why a lot of these characters are getting 14% recharge to make up for that superior SA2. And then she also has a revive on her soul bomb for whatever reason. Feel as though it should have been a debuff, but it is what it is. She has, for her skills, all status ailment duration minus 200%. She has Berserker of 100%, Bombardment plus 1, damage to frozen enemies of 80%, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Devastation of 50%, Frenzy plus 3, increased status element chance against Quincy's, Long Stride, Poise Break, 100% SP boost, and weakened defense. Like, she is a very good character. Very, very good character. I just think that Kenpachi is slightly above. So, yeah, you think she's number 1? Go for it. Go for it. Now, on to the meat and potatoes. Noelle. Now, obviously, I don't have this character. I don't have any of the August characters, but I've been watching the GQs, and Noelle looked so annoying to play. Like, the fact that she didn't get an EX skill, she has no Berserker, and then obviously she only has like Frenzy 2 and Frenzy 2 outside of GQ, and then Frenzy 3 in total in GQ and all that. The GQ skills, like for this buff GQ, it genuinely looked abysmal. Apparently she can get 55. I heard that was the best in this GQ. It is a buff GQ, so that is pretty impressive. Until you hear that it needs a 5-5 Rangiku, and a 5-5 Toshiro, the 1000 or lower heart Toshiro. Insane. Insane. I don't know why you need a 5-5 Rangiku. Maybe, I think it's the NAD link, so you get more bruiser, and then you use a booster, I think is what it was. Either way, 55 seconds, still very good, but the investment is absolutely insane to get that score. So, yeah. But let's go over her kit. So she has, she's a no affiliation killer plus, recharge of 14%, and then let me double check what her soul traits are. Does she have the triple? No, that is Nini. She has the EX damage to drained enemies of 40% at 5 out of 5, and then 14% recharge. And then she has Drain Plus on all of her strong attacks. Only Drain Plus, which is a big thing that people hate about this character. She has Team Party, no affiliation, strong attack damage of 20%. So yet again, another reason that I feel as though that she's a kind of a, or more so like Nini and Noella kind of lackluster, is because they don't have any of these side characters that give them 40% more damage when you inflict status summons or any of this thing. They just don't have that. They have left the no affiliation characters out to dry. This is their only buff, if I'm not mistaken, for no affiliation characters like this. It's crazy, and it's only 20%. And then she has Bombardment plus 1, damage to drained enemies of 40%, Debilitator plus 2 seconds, Freeze duration minus 200%, Frenzy of 2 or plus 3 in GQ, increased status summon chance against no affiliation enemies at 10%, Killer effect plus 30 or plus 50 in GQ, Poise break, range damage plus 10 or plus 30 in GQ, SP boost at 80%, and then weakened defense. Now, where would I put her? Honestly, I would put her either behind Tosh or one spot above Tosh. I'm kind of leaning here. Mainly just because if Toshiro is at least a very good character outside of Guild Quest, you know, he can be used anywhere. He's not held down to GQ to have his full potential. In Limit Breaker, he's still pretty good. Noelle, I will say, is good, but that's because it's literally catered towards her for this one Limit Breaker. So usually when it's a GQ character, you don't get to use them that much in Limit Breaker after the first month that you get to use them, when they're like designed for the Guild Quest. So I'm kind of just leaning towards this. And she doesn't have an EX skill that really helps out too much. She doesn't have one in general, actually. Drain is nice, you know, so if you get hit, you know, you don't have to restart. But, you know, I'm just not too sold on her as for what I have seen in her. Now, you know, if you have an argument and you think she's higher, you know, you can let me know. But I think she's like around here, not below Retsu. I don't think she's below Retsu. Yeah, I think she's either there for Tosh. Like it's up there. Asna, I still think does pretty well. I know that people are gonna say, oh, but he felt so bad in this most recent Melee Arrancar GQ. Yeah, it was the highest, one of the highest inflated GQs, and it was specifically designed to be against his attribute, and he still cleared at 2 out of 5. Was it a struggle bus? Yes, but you could still clear it. And the Noelle one felt easy. My 1-5 Tosh almost cleared Guild Quest. Like I got to the 4th extra wave. So I mean I don't think Nini or Noelle's was buffed as much as Nini's GQ at all. So that is why I'm putting her about here. Unfortunate. I think they definitely did not go all out on Noelle. Unfortunate. On to the final character, which is going to be the Dark Rukia Resurrection. She got a pretty good resurrection, if I'm not mistaken. She is a Soul Reaper killer, recharge of 12% with full stamina only, increased strong attack damage of 22%. Again, another enhanced soul trait, very good soul trait. Innate skill, Sprinter plus 1, guard break, fire duration minus 100%, damage to weakened enemies of 40%, normal attack damage of 20, 70% berserker, special move damage of 40%, nullified range resistance of 100%, havoc of 20, an increase to her frenzy from frenzy 1 to frenzy 2, debilitator of 5 seconds, and an increased status element chance against power attribute soul reapers. So pretty much the same thing about the middle-ish tier. Maybe around here. Yeah, somewhere around here. Maybe you could put her above Geen or something, but she's around here in this little area down in A comfortably. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Onto the power attribute. All right, so we have the power attribute list. Now I'm gonna do something that some people are gonna hate. So what was it? I'm going to move Mugetsu. No, not yet. I think my placements have to move. I think I gotta rank this character, then I'll move them. I'm going to do this. Put 8th and Ichigo up. Put this guy down. And I will show you guys why. Actually use 8th anniversary Ichigo. Unfortunately, I can only show you this one example. Hopefully it's still here. Earlier today it was here. Number 3 most used character, 8th anniversary Ichigo. So what they're probably doing here is they're using him to group the enemies together, and then the Nads sweep up, is my guess. Or maybe they have Tosho as a side or something. I doubt he's as a side, but you know, just like an example, just to clean house, group them all together, inflict weakening, and then they go to town. The fact that he's number 3 is the number 1 like main character is crazy. Okay, well, he was number 1 earlier. It would have proved my point much more. God damn it. Well, either way, the fact that he's up here, I'm so proud of him. Look at my goat cook. Look at him cook. He is here to group the enemies together, keep them in place, while you either use a main NAD unit. I've seen people use a NAD unit as their actual main character. I don't know how well it works with this GQ, but I've seen it in previous GQs where my buddy, he would use a NAD unit and just, you know, NAD away when he would just vortex them together, weaken them and whatnot, and he would be able to stay at full stamina, just constantly, you know, applying status elements. And it looked like it worked. You know, he might not have cleared, but he got way more waves done than if he didn't have Ichigo, just to be a really solid, nice character, just group them up together. Now, I'm not saying he's absolutely insanely broken or anything, but he's incredibly consistent. He can keep your team and give them that extra little boost, you know, just to keep all the enemies together for that. It's not like it's an insane placement either. I'm just kind of moving him up slightly. It's nothing insane. Just thought I would mention it. And then also, I think I'm going to put him below Misaki. At least Misaki can like somewhat clear a GQ. I asked Death if this guy could clear at 5 out of 5. He said he was struggling for his entire life. So I'm going to do that. Now, let's rank these characters. And then I think... really thinking of moving down Mugetsu, I'm not going to lie. Because he's practically just a Link at this point. Practically just a Link. And a lot of characters are kind of getting his buff right now. So... it is what it is. We'll see. But Jushiro is a ranged Rankar Killer Plus character. Amazing character, by the way. He has strong attack recharge time of 14%, and then he has the EX skill of 30% more Berserker, which is a different multiplier versus his regular 80% Berserker. So it's just another multiplier, more damage. Very cool. He has Paralysis Plus on all of his strong attacks. He has a superior SA2, very strong, and then he also has Insta Kill on his Soul Bomb for like smaller mobs. He has Team Party, strong attack recharge at 10%, so every time you go in between a wave or a room, you get 10% more damage, or recharge, my bad. He has all status element duration minus 200%, Berserker of 80%, Bombardment plus 1, damage to paralyzed enemies of 80%, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Devastation of 80%, Frenzy plus 3, increased status element chance against Rankars, Long Stride, SP boost of 100%, and Weaken defense. This guy is insane. He, in my opinion, is the #1 power character in the entire game. Aizen would have possibly been up there, but unfortunately he is a boss killer. He can still be used in Limit Breaker because he has such a good kit, and he is very, very strong, but, you know, not having killer in a PVE mode, like Limit Breaker or whatever, just kind of holds him back a bit. At least he has increased chance against them, like Soul Reapers, but it is what it is. Yeah, he is still very, very good though. But Jushiro, he's pretty broken. I know his GQ is rough for some people, but they keep inflating these GQs, so I have to keep mentioning that because the GQ HP is getting ridiculous and they need to chill. Going on to the next character is a resurrected character, which is going to be Hikone. Hikone is a... Okay, this is the right one. Yep, resurrected. Hikone has recharge at 12% with damage inflicted at full stamina of 18%. He has weakening. And then full stamina only, increased strong attack damage of 30% for his skills, Berserker of 60%, Bruiser of 20, Debilitator of 5, Devastation 40, Frenzy of 2, increased status summon chance against technique attribute Soul Reapers, Poise Break, and weakened defense. Now, where would I put him? I mean, honestly, I think he's up by like this. Like literally, they're all like middle of A, like up in here somewhere. And then Neliel. Did she get one of those EX traits? I don't remember. I just need to double check. I don't remember if she actually got it because it never shows up on this thing. There she is. I was about to say, where is she? She did. Okay, so she ended up getting damage taken minus 20%, and then normal attack damage of 35%. Okay. And then, yep, that's it. Okay. And then she is Melee Rankar plus, Killer plus. She has a Last Rate plus on all of her strong attacks, except for SA2, which is an SA2 boost. And then this is the main reason people are using her. She has a boost on top of the Team Party, increased damage to status and infected enemies of 20%. And then you can slap the Mugetsu link on top of her, which is really, really good. Then she has Booster of 30%, Bruiser of 60%, Enhancer of 10 seconds, Flurry plus 2 or plus 3 in GQ. So this is the first of its kind, Flurry plus 2 and up to plus 3 in Guild Quest, which is what every NAD unit should be having going forward, just saying. She has Freeze Duration minus 200%, Increased status summon chance against a wrong cards at 10%, Killer Effect plus 30 or plus 50 in GQ, Marauder, and then Melee Damage plus 10 or plus 30% in GQ. And then she has Poise. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Genuinely thought I heard something. I'm about to die. So, really, really good NAD unit. Now, it's a NAD unit, so I do have to take that into consideration, but I do think she is very, very good, and so that's why I'm putting her above Shinji. I think this Shinji sucks. I genuinely do not like this Shinji. I think he's very mediocre, and then I was going to do this, because Mugetsu is just a link. I don't think he can clear the new Nightmare Guild Quest. I think he's still very mediocre in Limit Breaker. They power crept him so incredibly hard, and him just not having what is that skill called? I honestly don't remember what it's called. Debilitator. I want to call it Disabler, but no, it's not. It's a Debilitator. Really holds him back because in Guild Quest the weakening lasts like that and it's gone, and then you have to reapply, and it is very bad, very, very bad. So you can't ever attack when they're weakened because it's already gone by the time you fire off another attack. Very bad, very bad. He's still good, but it's like okay, I feel like I'm gonna do this. I won't put him below 8th and Ichigo. I feel as though that's a bit too far. Ichigo is at least just a side. You can still use Mugetsu as a side. Okay, I won't get flamed like that. I'll do that. On to the next character, which is Nini. Alright, Nini. She is the new lead for Melee Arankar Killer, not range like Jushiro. So Melee Arankar Killer Plus, she has strong attack damage of 30%. And then she has the double EX, the first of her kind, where it has Recharge and Devastation, I believe, is hers. Thankfully, the Recharged is not built into the EX, like it's not like dupe based. It's 12% at base level 1. The Devastation is at 18% all the way up to 30%, so keep that in mind. And then she has Paralysis Plus on all of her strong attacks, including her EX and her Soul Bomb. She has Team Party, strong attack damage of 20%, Berserker of 50%, 55%, my bad, different multiplier from her EX Soul trait. Bombardment plus 1, damage inflicted at full stamina of 30%, damage to paralyzed enemies of 50%, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Devastation of 50%, Freeze Duration minus 200%, Frenzy plus 3, increased status summon chance against Arankars of 10%, SP boost at 80%, and weaken defense. Now this one is very iffy. Personally, I would probably say she is below Aizen. Now, if you think she is above, that's fine, but Jushiro is the #1 power character overall. He just has higher multipliers. I think he has a better kit. And then Aizen, it's iffy, right? He has a boss killer. If he had a PVE killer, I think there would be no competition. I think he would just be better flat out. But if you want to take that into consideration, that's fine. I understand if you think he's third, but I'm gonna say that he's #1 or number two, and then Nini is number 3. I wouldn't argue if you say that she's number 2, but I still think Jushiro is #1. They had like the most buff GQ, so they both felt pretty rough from what I heard. When I used Jushiro as well, it felt like he was doing no damage, but it's just because of the insane GQ inflation that I had to keep mentioning, because K-Lab really likes making us feel like our characters are weak, so we had to summon for more dupes. Going on to the next character, Kokoto, the most recent Resurrection Batch news. He got recharge at 12% with Technique, Link Stop Potions +4. He's also a Hollow Killer, by the way. Sprinter +1. He has Guard Break, Poison Duration -100%. Team Party Power Attribute Character Damage at 20%. Normal Attack Damage at 20%. Bruiser went up to 50%. Special Move Damage at 40%. Technique, Link Stop Potions +6. Havoc at 20. Frenzy +2. Debilitator at 5. And Technique Droplet Drop +24%. So I think he's decent. He didn't get anything absurd like the other characters. I think he's just a decent farmer. +10 Link Slot Potions and some droplets. I think he's just right around Eburn and Raruka, somewhere in there. He's just a farmer, nothing crazy. And he's also a pretty good Link because he has recharge and potions. I like that. That way if you're doing the anniversary co-op and you want to farm potions, well, now you get some recharge and you get potions. The only thing you'd be missing out on is like literally 1 potion instead of the +5. Oh well, boo-hoo. So yeah, I think that he's a pretty good farmer, pretty decent from what I can tell. So yeah, that is the power tier list. All right, so let's just get this out of the way. Aura, she got a pretty good bump in terms of skills, but her kit is still absolutely abysmal. I'm just gonna put her in B, top of B. There you go. She was literally like one of the last characters in B, but now she's top of B. Her strong attack kit is still absolutely terrible. She is a good Link. I will say that. If you want to value a good Link, there you go. She's right next to one of the other better Links in the game, the Chad Link. She got full stamina only, increased strong attack damage up 22%. Her Berserker also went up by 20%. Her Frenzy 1 went up to Frenzy 2. She got Guard Break, and then she got the SP boost of 50% is what I believe she ended up getting in total. So she's pretty good in terms of kit or skills, but her strong attack kit is just absolutely terrible. You're never going to use her. Unfortunate. It is what it is. So just thought I would just mention her. And now let's go on to the best character in the entire game, 10th Anniversary Ichigo. He is insane. He is insane. I swear I've done this tier list before. Maybe I did it in a stream or something. I don't know. But he is absolutely amazing. He feels so good. So good. He is a ranged human killer plus. He has recharge of 14% and the same EX skill as Jushiro with the 30% Berserker EX soul trait. He has paralysis plus on all of his strong attacks. He has a superior SA2 and an SA3, which is insane. And then he has the debuff soul bomb mechanic, which lowers defense by 50 to 70%. I can never remember the exact percentage. And then he has all status element duration minus 200%. Berserker of 100%, Bombardment +2, damage inflicted at full stamina of 50%, Debilitator +5 seconds, Frenzy +3, increased status on the chance against humans at 10%, Long Stride, Poise Break, Sharpshooter, SP boost of 100%, and weakened defense. So while he didn't introduce anything new, he is still so goddamn broken, and he's a PVE killer. It's absolutely amazing. Gonna put those humans in their place, because I hate the human mobs in this game. They are so annoying. So annoying. Thank you, Ichigo. Easily one of my favorite characters of the year. I've said that for almost every single attribute at this time, but oh well, don't matter. So yeah, he's very, very good. Was I gonna move some people? I think I was. I think I was going to lower down Giselle and Ishin. They are pretty much just Limit Breaker quest characters. I feel like up here, I know it's a big drop, but it's because these characters are meant for guild quests. That is the main meat and potatoes. It's not like they're terrible. These characters can still be used in and out of each other, but they just score higher in GQ. They're still usable in Limit Breaker. Are they the best? No. But these characters aren't the best in guild quests, but they're exceptional in Limit Breaker. So if you think they're a bit higher in S, that's fine. I just don't think they're SS anymore, especially if they're gonna keep up this annoying, insane difficulty in Guild Quest. I'm really thinking of dropping this guy, by the way. Let me know down below what you guys think. And then Misaki, I think, is gonna go above Yuha, simply because of her insane buff and boosting ability that she has. We overlooked it when I first did my tier list. That's on me. I didn't know it was such an insane boost to literally any character. That's on me. So she is a very, very good booster for pretty much any GQ week, similar to how Tendra was for any Soul Reaper. That's essentially what Misaki is, essentially. So yeah, just wanted to bring that up. Let's just same order, but it's like, you know, we could just do this. We could just do this. That feels pretty bad, I can't lie, but you know, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Now onto Rengiku. Let's go over Rengiku. So Rengiku is a melee human killer, so the opposite of Ichigo essentially. She has strong attack recharge of 14%, and then her soul trait, I believe, is a team buff. I just want to make sure I get the right buff. Team party damage to status on unaffected enemies, if I am not mistaken. Unfortunately, it has to be at 5 out of 5 for the best buff, which is pretty annoying. Yeah, so EX team party, increased damage to status on unaffected enemies of 20%. At 1 out of 5, it is 12%. And then she has Drain Plus on all of her strong attacks. Very yucky, I must say. No EX skill, similar to Noelle. And she's a mid-month character, which is crazy. She has Berserker of 70%. Debilitator of 2 seconds. Devastation of 80%. Frenzy plus 2 or plus 3 in Guild Quest. Increased status on the chance against humans of 10%. Killer effect plus 30 or plus 50 in GQ. Melee damage plus 10 or plus 30 in GQ. Paralysis duration minus 200%. Poise break. SP boost at 80%. And then weakened defense. Like, she's generally just a slightly better Noelle. Like, I don't know exactly. I don't know if she's SS, but I think she would be high S. I think she'd be high S. I still think she does very, very well. She's like around here. I feel like she is better than the Rukia and Retsu. But obviously, remember this, guys. We have not seen these characters in their, or more so Rukia. I think we've seen these two. But we haven't seen Rukia in her insanely highly inflated GQ yet, if I'm not mistaken. So keep that in mind. But I feel like Rengiku is up there. She is pretty good. I think that is pretty much it for the tier list. I don't think I'm going to move anyone else down. To my knowledge, I think that is pretty much it. So these are the tier lists. The speed is so full. I think I'm going to move Askin down. Like, he doesn't have 200% immunity. I don't think he's that guy. I don't think he has insane damage. Really thinking of moving Kang Do down as well, but you know, I guess we'll let it stay. They have a bunch of S tier speed characters. We'll leave it slide. Technique, and then Heart. Heart hasn't been touched. I'm really just thinking of dropping Kensei, but it's fine. It's fine. Let me know down below what you guys think. Probably gonna be a bunch of hate, but you know, obviously we all have different opinions on how we rank characters. So, oh my goodness, this video is 50 minutes long. I am so sorry. Hopefully I can drop it down to 30 to 40 minutes. Probably not. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care and peace out.